Hey guys, I told you that it would eventually be time when we would have to talk about parts of your vocal apparatus, and that time is now. So you should have a couple of sheets that have your larynx on it. Well, not your personal larynx, but a drawing of the larynx on there, and you need to put that into your notebook. Now, it's important for you to realize that the instructions say to color things different colors. We won't be coloring these till later, but what I need you to be able to do is to um, make a small light line with your pencil from one to the other. Now, none of these words are English. They're all in different languages, and so they're all weird, and it's everything that's on the inside is on the inside of you because it's disgusting and gross. So I know we're talking about something that's exciting. So this is your larynx. I know it looks like Larynx, but it's larynx, I promise. Okay? Yeah. I know you're thinking, "Geez, this is not what you wanted to talk about. This is not what you were thinking." But it's kind of important. So we need to know this stuff mostly because when you know about something, you know how to use it better. If there's something that's wrong, you can kind of figure it out, right? Like I said, a little tricky since this is inside of you. And if we were to open up one of you, even if you were volunteering to be nice, you would like bleed out all over the floor and we'd probably make it on the news. So it's probably not a good idea. So we've got to look at lame drawings instead. All right. Remember our friends and even us when we learned about the percussion sticks that we're working on, when we learn about the recorder, we have to know their pieces and parts and know what we need to do to make good sound with it. All right. We seriously cannot open one of you up and look at this. And if you did, some of you would vomit. It's gross. It's disgusting. They can take fiber optic cameras and put them up your nose and down through the back of your throat and can actually view what's going on. And a lot of people it just makes people want to faint. So I just don't show people that till later. So if you really want to see that, make sure you come back for concert choir. So there you go. Please, it's super hard to explain about singing because there are so many things that happen in it. And most kids think, well, I just open my mouth and strange sounds come out. Or this is why I don't sing because it's just, it's so beyond me to understand. Singing is complex. There is so many different pieces and parts and so many different things. And because we never see what we're doing, we have a vague idea of what's going on. And so it can be tricky to explain to somebody else, but that's okay. We're just going to learn the parts. We're going to use them. And then that way, when we talk about how singing really works, it'll make more sense. Please, when you're a singer, you use your entire body. I hate to tell kids this, but when I'm singing up high, I get all those notes from my feet standing firmly on the floor. And so all of the rest of my body is a part of it's just not along for the ride. I don't sing from my neck up, but I actually use my entire body. So also anything that happens to you emotionally shows up in your body. I don't know if anybody's tried to talk to somebody else while they're being emotional and they start to cry and all of a sudden everything constricts and you just don't feel like you can say things well. Well, your body gets affected by your emotions. And because of that, it affects what happens with your voice when you're singing. And so it's something we need to know about. It's really important to know that there are very cool things that affect us, and that we can work to make better. And that's about all we're going to get. All right. So please understand, I'm not going to expect you to do like what they had us do at college, go to a cadaver lab and look at all the parts and be able to label them, which was super fun. But, so don't worry. It'll be fun. Later we will have crayons, but that's as cool as we're going to get. All right, so this is the larynx. It is an organ of breathing, and it's located right here at the front of your neck. All right, inside this grayish part right here, that's where your vocal folds are. People do call it the voice box, and there are four main parts of it that we need to talk about. One is the cartilaginous structure. It's not skeletal bones, it's cartilage, right? Intrinsic muscles and extrinsic muscles, and then a mucosal lining, which is just kind of like, yeah. So the larynx is really a way to open and shut the airways. So if you have an airway that's open, you can breathe. Sometimes we need to shut off that airwave when we're doing acts of physical exertion. You can see when people lift really heavy weights, they actually clamp shut their vocal folds to give more stabilization and pressure in order to be able to lift heavy things. Its secondary function is to assist with phonation, and phonation is the sound we make when we're using our voice. So, like I said already, the larynx is only just one part, and we're just going to look at the voice box today, but that's only one part. All right, so here's the thing. Phonation means the vibration of the vocal folds. That's what the sound is. To phonate is to make sound. When your vocal folds adduct or come together, that's when they vibrate in and of themselves. Now that would make them what we call an idiophone. Idio means it vibrates by itself, right? And pressure is applied using air. I'm pretty sure I showed you about how to use air to create pressure, to create suction, to suck your vocal folds together and then force them apart with the air, not muscles. So we need to know that just first of all. So there is a larynx, and it's skeleton, but it's not bones. It's made out of cartilage. There's a thyroid cartilage and a cricoid cartilage. And so if we take a look, the thyroid cartilage is here, and the cricoid cartilage is this ring set here. Your vocal folds are in here, right? And so this protects your vocal folds and gives it stability. This also gives stability because remember, these are just cartilage like your nose or your ear. It's not bone. There is only one bone. And we've got to talk about the epiglottis first. Now, an epiglottis, it says leaf shape here, but you've seen the old school bikes from the 70s? Probably not, right? But they've got the long, instead of like the heart-shaped bicycle seat, it's a long banana-shaped seat. That's what your epiglottis looks like. And your epiglottis closes over the top of the opening to your larynx and allows food and water to go down into your esophagus, which sits behind your trachea and your windpipe. And then your arytenoid cartilages. You have two of them, and these are the ones that bring your vocal folds together and squish them or stretch them apart so you can change pitch. All right. So we have an epiglottis here. You're not going to be able to see the arytenoids because they are intrinsic. They are inside. So we have the cricoid cartilage. The thyroid cartilage, the cricoid cartilage, epiglottis, which they're all just not bone, right? And then we have one bone. This is called the hyoid bone. If you watch Law and Order Special Victims Unit, sometimes they talk about the victim having a broken hyoid bone. It sits right here and is the only bone other than your jawbone, and everything hangs suspended from it. And so if this bone, if someone were to, violently start choking you, this is the bone that breaks. That's what the on Special Victims Unit on the TV shows, the doctors look at the dead person and go, oh, there's a broken hyoid bone. Somebody choked this person. So there you go. So this hyoid bone is like U-shaped, and you can see it, this white part right here. This is not bone, just this top part, right? And everything kind of hangs from this. So it's a little bit like it's hanging from bungee cords, this whole structure. And so there you go. Ooh. Now, hopefully you've been taking your pencil and going epiglottis and then drawing a line to where the epiglottis is so you'll know how to color it later. Hyoid bone and thyroid and cricoid, right? All right, so here we go. Now, this is a membrane, the thyroid membrane. Why? Because it attaches the thyroid to the thyroid cartilage to the hyoid bone. So they call it the thyroid. Thyrohyoid. Oh my good gravy. The way things connect in your body, you have to have where it starts and where it ends. And so it gets super weird to name them. And then here's your thyroid. And these are ligaments and muscle and ligament, and they're the cricothyroid, right? Because they join the cricoid to the thyroid, and this is the rest of your trachea. Hopefully you're getting all this. You can stop this and, check. Now, there are lots of muscles, and we're not going to spend nearly as much time on the muscles as others. Please understand that if something is intrinsic, it means that both ends of the muscle are inside the laryngeal structure. And if it's extrinsic, one of them might be inside, but the rest means that that muscle is connecting to somewhere outside of the larynx. All right? Stabilizing the larynx is important since it's hanging just from your jawbone and your hyoid bone. It's just hanging there. And so it's not very stable. And so all of those muscles help to add stability. All right, I clicked. Oh, look. So we have a thyroarytenoid muscle. It shortens and relaxes the vocal folds, right? And the cricothyroids. And this pulls on and increases tension on your vocal folds so that you can sing higher pitches. That's all we're going to say. Promise you. And then the cricoarytenoids. Now we have two pairs of them, and they look like 3D pyramids, right? They look like pyramids, and they help in bringing your vocal folds together, adducting, or having them come apart. And then there's arytenoid cartilages. All right. Now, like I said, we're going to skip most of those because it's just, they're cool, but okay. So here we go. So vocal folds. Now, for sure, these vocal folds, we have a whole other paper on them. And so because there's a whole other paper on them, I'm going to make a whole other video. Because if the video gets too long, I get bored. And so hopefully you've been able to do everything. If you need to go back and repeat some of this, go right ahead. You can impress your friends now about the hyoid bone and then, the thyroid and the cricoid cartilages. Yeah, it's very fun to be impressive. So good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.